All right. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about the different clairs. I hadn't planned on that. Intuitively, I got told that's what I'm talking about this week. So I listened to my intuition. So somebody must want to know something about the different kinds of clairs. It's quite interesting. Most people would call themselves, when they're psychic and start doing this work, a clairvoyant, as a quite a broad term, because that's the main one everybody knows. We've all here heard of being clairvoyant. Sorry, I'm just going to chuck on the iPad too and just see, in case anyone's messaging and saying a comment, and make sure I can see. Because this happened last week and I can see on one platform and not the other. Oh, there I am. Okay. Well, it's so weird when you see a delay. Comments on. There we go, that's better. Now I can see who's watching. Hi, Tracy. All right, so the clairs. Clairvoyance is the main one that everybody uses. So often when someone say they're clairvoyant, so what that means is clairvoyance is a clear seeing. It's not with your physical eyes, though, it's with your third eye. So as for example, when I'm tuning in for somebody, I am very visual and I do see a lot in my head. So you could see it as flashes, different images, or like a movie playing. So when I do a past life release, for example, I see the vision like a movie playing, and I can pause it, rewind it, zoom in, which is really cool. Usually if it's like olden days, like pretty far back, I'll see it in sepia, and I'll even hear something. I was going to say, hang on, that's the next, that's Clairaudience. I'll even hear a movie reel, like the old-fashioned movie reel playing, like getting played. If you know that sound, I don't know how to imitate it. So clairvoyance is seeing in your mind. So that's the tricky part, is learning, when you're first learning how to do this stuff, it's practicing how to tell the difference between your imagination and what you're actually channeling. So that's a bit of fun, learning the difference between that and then trusting your intuition, what you're getting. Well, happy Wednesday to you too, Trace. Thank you. Happy hump day. So clairvoyance, that's the main one a lot of people use, and sometimes you need to close your eyes and focus. Other times you might use it, would be when you're meditating, and any images that pop in your head, that's clairvoyance. All right, so that's that one. If you've got any questions about any of these that I haven't explained, please ask. Clairaudience. So that one's clear hearing, but that's not actually with the ears, interestingly. So clairaudience is hearing it, like you might hear a voice, like you might be driving, for example, and you hear in your head stop or move, for example, because the universe has quickly sent you a message to help you pay attention to an oncoming car that was swerving towards you, for example. You might hear your name get called, like often people would hear, like they think they hear someone call their name and they kind of turn around, and so that's clairaudience, for example. If you've had an experience with, hello Jules, if you haven't any experience with any of these, let me know, chime in and give me some examples. That'd be awesome, so I know what you've experienced, because you'll probably have some of these clairs and you wouldn't even know. So you might be surprised. I did some research because I hadn't heard of one of them. Well, I had heard of it, but I didn't know of anyone who had it, so I was doing a bit of research. One of them I was surprised. One of them I've never experienced before, but I have all the other ones in check. And also, and with clairaudience, I've just got notes so I don't forget anything. You can also, when you get tones, like we're ringing in your ears, that's clairaudience too. You might get vibrations or tones and sounds in your head. We've heard your name whispered, awesome. And then you're thinking, what the heck? So it's probably someone in spirit, usually, or an angel or something trying to give you a message to help you notice or pay attention, or just to let you know that you are clairaudient even, which is awesome. Another one is Claircognizance. How do you say it? Claircognizance. I keep saying Claircognizance, but it's Claircognizance. Now this one, as I was learning and developing my psychic abilities when I was older, I realised I've had this one all my life since I was young, which is quite interesting. It used to cause a lot of arguments in my house. This one's clear knowing. So this is thoughts popping into your mind, often sometimes something you wouldn't normally know. So the reason it would often cause some arguments in my household, because when I was a kid, we'd be talking around the dinner table and I'd just make a statement about something that popped in my head, and it would be something about maybe politics or something that was like beyond me. And they'd be like, where'd you get that from? Or where did you read that? I'd say, I don't know, I just know. Why would I say it if I don't know? I've said this line many times. Why would I tell you something if I didn't know it was true? I just come up with this stuff. But I didn't know where I read it or got it from. It just popped in my head, like, I just know. And that's inner knowing, clear knowing. So, yeah, I would have to often have, actually, I tell this one a lot, in primary school, late primary school, I remember girls coming and asking me for sex advice. And I didn't have any experience, but I would know the answers, which was interesting. And I would just know stuff. And I thought, I don't think I've read that many dolly magazines that I should know all this stuff. So that's part of clear knowing. So if you've got an example of that for you, that'd be great. Share along. Oh, what's that, Tracy? Hearing in your ears. If you wonder if it was due to the music being too loud when you were younger, that means you had awesome younger years. Well, some people think it's tinnitus. Anytime you're hearing in your ears, it can often be you're just getting a download or channel or some vibrational energy from the universe. So just tune in and think what were you just thinking about, and it could have nothing to do with that. You can just say thank you for whatever your download you're giving me. It's doing some kind of healing or giving you a message, even if you don't understand what it means. Yeah, so Clairaudience, Claircognizance, and Clairvoyance. Clairsentience is a good one too. That's clear feeling. So this one I get as well. Let me know if you do too. This is now this one I can also combine a bit with empathy. So like being a clear empathetic, I think it's called, or empathic. So there's two parts. There's a physical feeling. So like when you get a feeling in the pit of your stomach, you just have a sense about something. My main thing is I get goosebumps and tingles. So whenever I'm saying something and the universe wants to reiterate that yes, you're on point, that's what we mean, I get the goosebumps really strongly. So you might get something like that. That's a physical part of it, but you might also kind of cross over between the empathetic part of it by feeling other people's stuff. So either as a physical way to let you know what's going on with them, like when I'm doing a healing, often I've picked up many times actually when someone gets palpitations, like I'll get to their heart chakra and I start getting palpitations. And then I ask them, do you get palpitations? And they will tell me quite often, well, it only happened about 3 times that I remember, and they've always said, yes, I do get regular heart palpitations. So it just let me know that I need to do a bit more work on the heart chakra to help balance it out because something's out of whack there. And also if they've got issues with communication, their throat chakra's quite out of whack, straight away I'll start feeling it in my throat, I'll lose my voice, I'll cough before I even get to the throat chakra. So that is clairsentience for me. But then you might get the empath part of it as well, where you've just, so many of us are out there, you take on people's stuff, all of a sudden you'll have a mood change, you'll just feel a bit crappy being in someone's energy, you watch something on the news and your energy just changes because you're feeling their stuff. I know a lot of people, especially empaths and psychics and that alike, who not sure how to protect themselves and don't ground themselves quite enough, can also be feeling a lot of negative energy and mood swings now because of the collective. There's so much stress and anxiety and worry and fear out there. You might be picking up way more than usual, so it can affect you. So go back to my other classes, the first 2 weeks about cleansing, releasing and grounding to help you with that. Deja vu too, that's awesome. That's a whole nother subject I might get into another few weeks down the track when we talk about time. This one I hadn't had an experience with, and then a friend dropped off something for me today, a bit of a personal delivery, and I told her about this one, and I'm so glad I did. Clever universe, because she gave me an example for her. Clairgustance, clear tasting. The ability to taste something that you aren't even eating. But it's kind of like how I feel, because the other clairs are about you just know. It's just a way for your senses to be more awake and alive, right? So, for example, you might be doing a reading or healing or something for somebody, or thinking. You could be thinking about someone who's crossed over, for example, and all of a sudden you can taste Janana's lasagna she used to make you, for example, or something like that. I haven't experienced this one. I don't really get this one personally, but then I was explaining it to my friend, and she said she would get more sensitive to things like that when she was pregnant. So And I know definitely pregnancy just heightens different things. Like I know my sense of smell was always way, way stronger when I was pregnant. So she said for her it was the sense of taste was much stronger when she was pregnant. And she just, and also it would be her body's way of warning her that she was getting sick. So she would all of a sudden taste this weird taste in her mouth, and then she'd know, she worked it out, that was the signs. And the foods she would crave to get that taste out of her mouth were often nutritious foods full of vitamins, the vitamins that she needed to help ward her off getting sick, and she'd never get sick. So she just knew that's what it was. I thought that's a perfect example. Wow. So if you can relate to that, let me know. That's awesome. Because any of these, Claire, you might experience some of them, and just, you don't have to be a psychic or anything like that to be using these. You can just be going about your life and realizing, I do that, or I get that, or that happens all the time. So, and then you can strengthen them and work on them and practice, which is awesome as well. Yes, and then another one, Clairaudience, which is clear smelling. Should be a better word for it than that. So that one I've definitely had before. Don't know about you, but this one's quite common. That something that spirits would use to help you let you know that they're around. And I find this one quite common for other people who aren't psychic or anything. They might be thinking about a loved one, and then all of a sudden they'll smell their perfume, or they'll smell a cigar that they used to smoke and think, well, how can I smell that? There's no one around here smoking, and that's just, I know that smell. That's the vanilla cigar my grandfather used to smoke, or something, you know. Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah, food, perfumes, anything like that. So sometimes if you are a psychic or medium, you could be doing a reading, for example, and then you are tuning in for them, and then you do smell something. So you got to pay attention to all your senses when you're doing a reading, because there's always a reason for it. You're not just going to smell chocolate muffins all of a sudden for no reason. When you're talking to a client, if that's what you're doing, you can tell them that, even if it sounds really weird and wacky. This bit of hair I keep seeing is annoying me. Tell them, even though it's weird and wacky, because they might go, oh my gosh, I was just baking chocolate muffins today, thinking of my mother who's passed, and that was something we used to make together, and you wouldn't have known because if you didn't say anything. So that could be exactly the confirmation that they needed, so they understand that they're with them. So that's why all these senses can be really, really interesting. And might not pop a picture of chocolate muffins in your head, but smelling it, you just know, and that's just an easier way. Ah, Tracy, yes, awesome. Well, now he can smoke wherever he wants to. And Heather as well, yes, beautiful. Yeah, I do distance learning. Oh, beautiful. Yes. See, that's good. A couple of people straight away. It's a common one. So that means you've got that clear under control, and you're sensitive, and you're working on it. So that's fantastic. Love it. And another one, I didn't even know this was a clair technically, but you would have heard of psychometry maybe. Actually, the other name for it is clairtangency, which I didn't realize was a clair. So psychometry is being able to touch something. So this is when you might go to a psychic or something, and you might give them a photo or an old something that belongs to someone who's crossed over, for example, and they hold it and then they read it that way. They're picking up the energy and senses through touch, through their hands. So yeah, like you learn about its history. So they might just be able to go to an area, go to an old house and just touch the wall and tune. Oh, I just got goosebumps then. Yeah, they're just telling me I should practice that. I should do that one more, because I can do that, but I don't do it enough. So I've just got to kick up the bum to do that one. That's funny. Yeah, you might touch the wall and then start channeling messages through your hand where you're touching about what happened in that space or on that exact spot or in that room or whatever. So that's picking up through physical touching, but because everything leaves imprints and energy, so you'll pick it up that way. So all these things you can practice. You can practice, like I know I went to a psychic development class once a few years ago, learning about mediumship and psychometry. And that one, we all just had to bring something from our home that was personal to us or someone in our family, put them in envelopes and no one could see, put them all in the middle, and then we just swapped and picked up other people's stuff, and then we had to hold it and practice reading it and just writing down anything we picked up about it. in any way. So that was really fun, and then the other people would confirm or deny whatever you picked up, and then you're just practicing. So they're great ways that you can practice the clairs and see what you're good at, what you might want to practice and work on. I really want to try do the more picking up on the tasting. So you can just ask if you want to get better at any of those clairs and you want to make any of them stronger. And most people really want the clairvoyant one to work, the third eye. Put it out there and ask, what do I need to do to help strengthen that clair so I can become more connected and see better, hear better, smell better, whatever it is you want to work on. And then notice the signs, notice what you're being guided to, because you can put it out there, and then you might see a post about, and I've just gone blank. Can you tell? What's the crap that they put in your water? Oh my God. Fluoride. There we go. Thank you. Took you a while. Fluoride. So example, you want to learn about clairvoyance and open your third eye more, and then you're browsing Facebook and you see a post about fluoride and how it affects your pineal gland, which is in the back of your head. It affects your third eye. And so you start reading it, and then, oh, that's really interesting. But that's the universe's way of giving you a sign of that's how you improve your third eye, to open it up and see it better. Or they guide you to a mentor, someone like me, for example, who teaches you about how you open it, how you connect your channels and stuff. So things like that, all different. That's how you put it out there. So any of these clairs, so I'm going to definitely ask about the tasting one to see if I can start getting, they've heard me now, so show me some ways I can grow that. That'd be awesome, because I'd like to add it into my toolkit, and that'd be great, because then I can help people in more ways. So yeah. All right, so has anyone got any questions about any of those clairs? If you missed the start, go back when